Hi there, good afternoon. You've tuned into ET now, and this is Market Fatafat with me, Cheryl D'Souza. Along with me, I have Vinny Motiwala. A very good afternoon to you, Vinny. A long week is coming to an end, but one thing is for sure, this week doesn't look like we would have hit that record high level. Yesterday, we did expect the markets to hit or Nifty to scale new record high, but from there on, we've only drifted lower. Right now below 18,600 mark, as you can see it on your screen. Just take the note of the flash on the bottom of your screen. 30% equity block deal is what has taken place in CMS Info Systems, and on back of that you can see the stock that took a nosedive. Now it is down about 5% as we speak. More talking about the rest of the market, you have Nifty Bank that's trying to hold on to a positive territory right now, trading flat with a positive bias. You have mid-cap index that have actually erased all of their gains now, or both of them, small cap as well as mid-cap, both of them are in the negative territory. Talking about the sectoral performance then is the PSU Bank index that's taking a sharper knock in today's trading session. 1% downtick coming in for the PSU Bank index, followed by FMCG index 0.9%. You have IT index that's tried to recover a tad bit from the day's lowest point, but still nevertheless holding on to loss of about 0.6%. What is key to note is that all the sectors right now, Vinny, are actually reversing from the day's highest point. So you had Realty index that was trading higher by about 0.6% earlier on. Now it is barely trading higher by about 0.25%, and Nifty Bank, like I said, is trading almost flat with a positive bias. So that's the way how the markets are trading right now, off the day's highest point.
Yeah, markets are off the day's highest point, but let's look at some of these individual names that are moving in trade either on the back of news flows or technicals, and we'll be taking you all through all the stocks in the next 1 hour. On the technicals today, we're joined by Vaishali Parekh from Prabhudas Leelather, wife from the research team. We have Shesha as well as Riza joining us. That's a very good afternoon to all three of you all, and good afternoon to you as well, Cheryl. Starting with the first stock, and actually first sector that we'll be talking about today is going to be the insurance space. Now, Macquarie has come out with a note on the insurance space where they've actually downgraded the stocks of the insurance sector to a neutral rating from a previous outperformed rating. Now, when you look at it in terms of which are the stocks that they've spoken about, one is HDFC Life, SBI Life, as well as ICICI Prudential Life also, which is going to be in focus on the back of this. For HDFC Life, they've downgraded the stock to neutral from outperform and cut the target price to 556 rupees from 655 rupees per share. ICICI Pru also similarly downgraded the stock neutral, and target price is at 486 from previous target price of 580 rupees, and SBI Life 2 downgraded to neutral and a target price of 1306 from previous 1580 rupees. It was the target price which they had previously. So yes, on the back of this, that we've seen that when you look at ICICI Pru, that's down in trade as well. SBI Life is not doing anything exciting as well, and HDFC Life also too a bit sluggish in trade. Now, what Macquarie also highlights that they remain concerned on the long-term growth prospects and looming regulatory risk that comes in for the insurance space, life insurance names specifically, and unless growth picks up meaningfully, the sector performance will lag, is the word coming in from Macquarie. Near-term catalysts are missing, and valuation support implies limited downside for the stocks currently. But yes, not very positive on this one. Overhang on regulatory front is something that they're keeping an eye out on as well.
All right, moving on, let's talk about Greenlam Industries, and that particular counter hit a record high in today's trading session. At one point in time, the stock was trading higher by about 12%. Now it's inched a tad bit higher than that, almost knocking to the doors of 13% up move. A record high for the company. The company's unit, HG Industries, said that Greenfield project for plywood manufacturing and allied products has started commercial production, and the total capex incurred was about 130 crore rupees, and the project has the potential to generate 400 crore rupees revenue per annum. This is what the unit had said, and on back of this on the back of the fact that they have begun a commercial production, the revenue is much higher than the capex that they have actually deployed in this particular Greenfield project. The stock is jumping in trade 13% now for Greenlam Industries.
Okay. Vaishali, the first stock that you have picked up for us is Jindal Stainless. Now, this one has seen a fabulous up move already in this last 1 year. What are the charts indicating? Is this actually a buy call or a sell call that you're giving for Jindal Stainless?
Very good afternoon, and thanks for having me on the show. So, well, actually, I have a positive bias. Of course, it has outperformed, and seeing the metal pack on the whole, I think metal sector needs to now participate in the market. and Jindal Stainless has been outperforming. So I would still say it is a buy even now because I think it's ready for a new price, getting into a new price territory. We are seeing it at currently at 315. So the all-time high that we've been witnessing is around 327, 328. So if this level is crossed, I won't be surprised if we see a new high from here.
All right, moving on then, let's bring on board actually Mr. Nirmal Jain, who is the founder at IIFL Group, on the show to talk more about the newest offering. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Jain. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now. This is Cheryl on the other side. Let me directly dive into the latest development, and you're planning on raising about 300 crore rupees with a green shoe option of about 1200 crore rupees. If you tell us where would the capital be raised, where would the capital raise be utilized? Also, if you could tell us which segment would most of this capital be diverted to?
So this is our working capital for normal loan growth. So this year, if you look at our loan assets under management, we had a 64,000 crore last year, and which we expect to grow by about maybe close to 25 or 22 to 25% this year. And that needs to be funded. A significant part of it will be co-lending or basically the assets that we sell down to bank. But still there are loans that come for the repayment and have to be replaced, and there's some amount of debt in proportion to equity we also plan to increase. So if you're able to raise 1500 crore rupees, that is what our target is. We'll use this for growth in a gold loan, business loan, as well as other products that we have.
Right, Mr. Jain, this is Vinny joining in the conversation as well. And what we also want to know is what is the rate at which you're raising this at, and how do you expect the cost of the funds to move from here on, and also in consecutively the impact that we could see in terms of the NIMs for the company as well? Do you see it contracting or remain at the same levels?
So interest rates are a little different for 2-year, 3-year and 5-year period bonds. So the coupon is 9% and the yield can be 9% to a little more than 9% for a longer maturity. Cost of funds, because there has been a systemic interest raise all over, and interest rates have gone up in India as well. So there's impact of this, but still on an incremental basis, the 9% cost of fund is something which is in line with our plans. And if you even look at our last year's financial, our cost of fund has gone up very marginally, primarily because we've been able to repay the higher cost debt which were contracted before 2018 and the dollar bond which was raised in 2020. And also our credibility with the banks, our credit rating, all those factors are positive at this point in time. And we have been able to contain we've been able to mitigate the interest rate hike impact on our cost of funds. So our cost of fund has gone up only marginally as compared to the rates that have gone up across the industry or across the economy.
Right, Mr. Jain, let's talk about the home loans as well as gold loans. Both of them put together actually account for approximately 2/3 of your book. If you could tell us what's the outlook, especially on the competition in this space. And when I talk about competition, I'm asking about especially coming in from the banking sector. And also, given the fact that there is competition, do you see your growth being curtailed? What sort of a growth are you envisaging going ahead for this, for the home loan as well as gold loan portfolio?
Competition has been very intense, and banks also, as they are not, the private sector capex in India has not picked up the way, probably one would have expected it to. And banks have deposit and also with say, these 2,000 rupees notes going back, the deposits are going up, and they are looking to grow their retail asset book, and therefore competition in affordable home as well as gold loan is fairly intense from banks. But having said that, we have our niche, the geographic areas that we operate in, the service that we give to the customer, and the kind of customers that we target. So when the economy is doing well, I think there's enough demand and enough for banks as well as very specialized NBFCs like ours. And in many products, we are partnering with banks. So basically, we source loans which 80% for banks and 20% for us. So in a way, it works for both of us. But the demand for credit is fairly strong when the economy is doing so well.
Also, what we see is that after a very long crisis, the outlook for MFI has actually improved. Now, do you foresee a long runway of growth ahead, and what is the kind of contribution you see coming in from this space in the overall AUM mix? Currently, it is somewhere around 15%. So, where do you see it moving now?
MFI has recovered very well, and RBI's pragmatic policies as well as the the recovery post COVID and post the inflationary fear that we had. Now that we are getting out of it, the economy is doing well. So MFI sector in general is doing well, and we see a robust, very strong growth there as well. So when we say that we plan to grow around 25%, MFI contribution may be slightly higher, say 30%. The contribution in the overall portfolio might go up a little bit, say from 15 to 16. I don't have the precise estimate, but it will be a marginal increase if at all there is an increase.
Okay, let's talk about the credit cost then. What would be the credit cost on your incremental book going ahead, especially in the MFI space? Also, the asset quality guidance for FY24?
So our asset quality in last 2 quarters has improved considerably, including for MFI sector. So if you look at now, the GNP is less than 2%, and our credit cost guidance for the entire for the company as a whole is also less than 2%, maybe 150 to 200 basis points credit loan losses and provisions on an annualized basis. MFI on an incremental is doing very well, and so till last year we were reeling under the problems of COVID and restructuring, and when these small borrowers, when they're coming out of the COVID and the restructuring period, some of them obviously could not meet their commitment in terms of the schedule of interest and principal repayment. But now things have recovered, and on incremental loans we are seeing the losses are less than 1%.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Jain, for joining in with us this afternoon, giving us an understanding on what we should be expecting in terms of the company, and obviously the fundraising through NCDs that's happening. Where is that going to be utilized as well? But on that note, let's move on now and continue with all the stocks that are buzzing in trade, and these are coming to you. Kotak Mahindra Bank, that one focused.
Today's session following a block deal on the counter, and the seller was Canada Pension Plan Investment Fund. Well, they sold around 1.7% stake in Kotak Mahindra Bank. Note that Canada Pension, they held around 4.3% stake in the company as on 31st March, and other investors include foreign investors holding a significant stake of around 37% in the bank, and among the other public shareholders, LIC has around 6% stake and mutual funds hold around 10% stake. So the shares were offered in the range of 1,792 to 1,886 per share, which entails a 0 to 5% discount to the previous close price. If we look at the share price movement of Kotak Mahindra Bank, it reversed from their 52-week high, which they saw in on 31st May at 2,064, and even over the 12-month period, the stock has underperformed Nifty. So that's why Kotak Mahindra Bank is in focus following a block deal.
All right, let's move on then, Ashesha. Snowman Logistics, why is this one in focus today?
Well, yes, this counter is in focus, and that is because promoters are increasing their stake in the company. The stock, in fact, is sitting off the highest point of the day, but despite that, holding on to gains of nearly 3.5%. Now, in Wednesday's trading session, promoter group Gateway Disty Parks bought about 11 lakh shares, which translates to 0.67% equity. This was done at a price of 40.02 per share. Yesterday, once again, promoter group bought about 14 lakh shares, which translates to 0.84% stake in the company. This was done at a price of 43.32 rupees per share. So promoters are clearly trying to increase their stake in the company, and on account of that, the stock is buzzing in trade today. Important to note that not just today, the stock has been buzzing for the last many trading sessions. In fact, the stock is up 17% in the last 5 days, and in the last 1 month also, the stock has gained nearly 24%. Today, of course, on the back of these block deals that have happened over the last 2 trading sessions, the stock is in focus.
Keeping an eye out on Snowman Logistics on the back of that news flow. But moving on to a private bank, and Vaishali, you picked out IndusInd Bank from that whole lot. Today, when you're looking at IndusInd Bank, it's up 2% in trade almost. And in the last 1 month also, we've already seen a 17% gain. What is the upside that we should expect from IndusInd Bank now? And is it still the good time to pick up IndusInd Bank?
Yes, actually, it is been outperforming. So if you see in the banking sector right now, it is the PSUs which are showing profit booking, and IndusInd throughout the day has held on up. So technically, we had a resistance at 1320 levels, and now we are seeing it has moved past and very comfortable. Even the market has been so choppy throughout the day. So I would say that one should buy even now, because the risk reward ratio from here on would be pretty favorable. 1310 would be the stop loss for a target of 1400. That would be the next expected target that I would go for.
Okay, keep an eye out on that level for IndusInd Bank. Moving on to Avenue Supermart. This one is in focus today because we have Motilal Oswal that has actually upgraded Avenue Supermart to a buy from a previous neutral rating, and they've given a target price of 4,200 rupees per share from previous rating target price of 3,895 rupees per share. Also, do not forget that this is the first time that we're seeing an upgrade coming in for the stock since October 2022. So after a very long time, an upgrade coming in for Avenue Supermart. What Motilal Oswal is highlighting is that they believe that Avenue Supermart is actually very well placed in terms of the earnings revival, as well as a long runway for growth is what they see coming in for Avenue Supermart, and that will be mainly led by the same store sales growth, which had been a bit subdued, but yes, they start seeing that recovery coming in, given that the company is now focusing more in terms of the long format stores. Long stores are there than the short format stores that they've been focusing on. Also, strong footprint addition in the last few years will be something that will be supporting the growth. Competitive position is still intact because yes, Avenue Supermart is still among the top retailers for grocery as well. Lastly, in terms of online business also, they are not burning cash there as well, as the important highlight that is coming from Motilal Oswal, but they're very well prepared on that front. On the back of this, we're seeing that Avenue Supermart today is buzzing in trade up 2.6%.
All right, that's Avenue Supermart. That is in focus on back of that upgrade. But Vaishali, where is Bharat Forge headed from here on? Do you see a meaningful upside for this particular auto anchor company?
Yes, actually, this is one of the stocks which has not participated in whole of Autopack. So I think, 750 was the base made, and from there on, we've seen a one-way up move. So I would say this is a good stock to be bought with a support of 780, because once the momentum picks up and the stock moves past 830, I would be looking at a target of 850 to 880. So this is a good level to accumulate from here on.
All right, moving on, let's talk about SpiceJet then. That particular counter is on a roll. It's been gaining for a fifth consecutive session. The company today said that they will be inducting 10 Boeing 737 aircraft beginning September 2023. We'll just show you the price that is there listed on the BSE, and there you go, 11% this week is where SpiceJet has seen an up move. They're saying that also the grounded planes will start returning back to their service soon, but for now what they've said, the 10 Boeing 737 will be inducted in their fleet from September onwards, and on back of that particular positive development, the fact that hopefully the things will start normalizing in SpiceJet, the stock is trading higher today as well. For the week entirely, it is up approximately 11%.
Okay, HDFC Bank is the next stock that we are going to talk about, and Vaishali, one more private bank making to your list. This one is different in terms of the charts that we've seen in the past from IndusInd Bank, because IndusInd Bank was an outperformer, but HDFC Bank had been a bit of a subduedness is what we're seeing in the last 6 months. What are the charts indicating for HDFC Bank? A good run-up?
So I would say it has decently corrected, and it is holding on to the 1600 levels. So once again, the level becomes very attractive. I mean, 1580 should not break. If that is broken, then also I think the downside is limited to 1550. So I would say definitely for Bank Nifty to participate from here on, these are the stocks that one should be looking at. So HDFC Bank is one of them, whereby you need a participation because it being a heavyweight, I think this should participate and technically very well placed. So I would recommend a buy on HDFC Bank from here on for a target of to start with 1650 to 1700 levels.
Okay, that is the take coming in on HDFC Bank. But Lisa, why is Tata Power in the spotlight today?
So Tata Power, they have received an LOA to set up 966 megawatt RTC, that is round the clock hybrid renewable project for Tata Steel. So, and this is touted to be one of the biggest industrial RTC power in the country. The project will have a renewable hybrid capacity of 379 megawatt solar as well as 587 megawatt wind power, and the project will fulfill Tata Steel's green energy requirements in India. Tata Steel will be investing around 26% stake in the said project, and this project will be commissioned by June 2025 as per the arrangement. And now with this win, the total renewable capacity of Tata Power, it stands at 7,756 megawatt with an installed capacity of 4,000 megawatt. Well, we look at the stock price, it was up around 1.8% in the early morning trade, but then it has cooled off since then, but still trading with a positive bias. And even if we see the last 1 year in 2023, the stock has risen around 6%. So that's on Tata Power.
Let's move on and talk about a pharma name on the charts, and Sun Pharma, Vaishali. What are the charts indicating for this one now?
So Sun Pharma should act as a defensive stock, because when market gets vulnerable to all these events and some selling pressure, Sun Pharma has also not participated. So I would say this could be the safe haven. 950 should be the stop loss. And today morning we saw that there was a pickup coming in the stock. So I'm still bullish because we have an open target of 1040. So Sun Pharma would be a buy even now and at every decline with support of 950 for a target of 1040.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Sun Pharma. DLF Ashesha, why is this one in focus today?
The management of DLF at their conference, and on the back of that they've come out with a report. First up, they talk about the demand at the moment, where they say that management is expecting housing demand upcycle and supply side consolidation to continue from here on. As far as price hikes are concerned, management also indicated that they are intending to undertake about 7 to 9% price hike in FY24. They expect to be net cash surplus in FY24. In the commercial segment, DLF expects double-digit growth driven by escalation, higher occupancy and new asset creation. As far as retail portfolio is concerned, they are expecting retail portfolio to double over a period of next 4 to 5 years. So strong commentary coming in from the management, and on the back of that, DLF is in focus today.
Let's move on and talk about NTPC. This one has been buzzing in trade for a long period of time as well. And when you look at it, the stock is actually trading at a multi-year high, Vaishali. What are the charts indicating for this one now? How much more upside? Because already a multi-year high is what we're seeing for NTPC.
So NTPC has made an attempt to give a breakout at 182, 183 levels, and it is sustaining over there. So I think an indicator also, it's not been affected by any indicator. It is holding on very well. So in spite of all choppiness, I would lay my bets on this, because with 175 as stop loss, I'm expecting a target of around 192 as near term. And the following target after that would be 200 to 205. So I'm bullish on NTPC.
NTPC, that's the word coming in from Vaishali. But let's move on and talk about CEAT. Why is this one in focus today? It's trading with gains of almost 1% as of now. The company has inked an agreement with further investment of up to 9 crores to acquire 10.89% in Tyson Moore. And upon the completion of this agreement, Tyson Moore will actually become a subsidiary of the company, and with CEAT holding almost 56.9% stake on a full dilute basis. So keep an eye out on this one today, trading with gains of almost 1% in trade as of now, CEAT.
All right, Vaishali, let's talk about Tata Power. We had Lisa speak at length on what was, why this counter was in focus and back of fundamentals. But on the charts, Tata Power, where do you see this one headed?
So Tata Power is one of the stocks which has, compared to other power stocks, not really participated. And the rally has begun from 200 levels. So right now it is taking a breather at around 223 and but I would say the long-term horizon looks pretty promising. So I would say buy at every decline for a positional target of, well, short-term traders could be looking for 235. But if one can hold with patience, I won't be surprised if the stock goes towards 270 and so on. So this is a buy according to me.
All right, let's talk about Schneider Electric, and why is this one in focus in today's trading session? Because the company said that their MD and CEO Sanjay Sudhakaran had tendered the resignation, and they've said that the MD and CEO, the current MD and CEO, has actually gone ahead and submitted the resignation. Post this news, as you can see on your screen, the stock actually lost all of its upward momentum. It was seeing much more declines in excess of about 2% or so, but now it has recovered a tad bit. It's trading low by about 1.6% on the fact that the MD and CEO has submitted his resignation.
Okay, let's move on and put the spotlight on MMTC, Vaishali. On the charts, so what are the indications? Because this one has not done anything for the longest period of time. Finally, is that consolidation period over for MMTC?
There's some pickup, and yes, of course, this has corrected from very high. And we had seen the previous high was at around 50 levels, and from there on, we've seen one-way fall coming towards 30. Now, chartically, I'm seeing that the stock is coming out of its consolidation. So I would say, and of course, we see a rise in volume since the past 3-4 days. So same is the case even with STC. These two stocks look very promising to buy as a positional trade from here on, because once we see the momentum setting in and the stocks getting in the trend, I would be looking at a target of 38 to 45. That would be the next target.
All right, moving on. Lisa, let's talk about GAIL. Why is this one in focus today?
So GAIL, they won the bidding process for JBF Petrochemicals. Remember that JBF Petrochemicals, they were undergoing a corporate insolvency process, and GAIL has won the bid for it. And they also outbid companies like Indian Oil Corporation and also ONGC in the process. So GAIL has infused a total resolution plan amount of around 2,000 crore, and with this JBF Petrochemicals becomes a wholly owned subsidiary of GAIL. Now, how does it benefit GAIL? Well, they'll be adding a purified terephthalic acid, that is PTA, to its existing portfolio of petrochemical via this acquisition. So, and interestingly, they also completed the process within 15 months, which is the fastest in NCLT's resolution process post-COVID period. So that's on GAIL, and it was up around 1.8% in early morning trade, but since then it has cooled off in tandem with the overall market.
Moving on to stock number 20, and Ashesha, Oberoi Realty. What's the news play here today?
Well, yes, this is also on the back of a brokerage note that has come in from Morgan Stanley, where they met with the management, of Oberoi Realty. And they said that they expect demand for large format homes to sustain as we head into FY24. Thane projects are expected to launch in the current year's festive season. As far as other redevelopment projects are concerned and expansion for the company is concerned, the management also highlighted that they are in active discussions for a few redevelopment projects in Mumbai and Gurgaon. Retail mall footfalls are lower while consumption continues to remain strong. This also implies higher spends that are being done by customers. So strong commentary that has come in from the management, where they have spoken about their expansion plans, upcoming redevelopment projects in Mumbai and Gurgaon, and on the back of this, the stock is in focus today, holding on with mild gains as we speak.
All right, so that's the reason why Oberoi Realty is in focus in today's trading session. But on that note, we slip into a break on this edition of Market Fatafat. When we come back, we'll continue with the journey of taking you through all the buzzers.